Johannesburg authorities are briefing the media on the implosion of the Bank of Lisbon building. Let's take a quick listen in.
Especially when the warlike sirens went off. It was probably the longest minute of my life, but thank you very much. Just to indicate that on inspection, the demolition has gone 100% successfully. Nothing has been broken, no damage to property around the area, especially within the exclusion zone, and nobody has been hurt or injured. So everybody can be accounted for. What is going to take place now is the removal of the protection from the 10 buildings or the buildings around around what used to be the Bank of Lisbon building, and the clearing of the roads. Just to indicate that by tomorrow morning, Monday, the CBD will be back to normal. Everybody will be able to access and enter and exit the CBD as usual. It should actually be able to go back to normal by later this afternoon. Clearing of the site has already started, or clearing of the roads has already started. Just to indicate that this was the second largest building to be demolished. It's standing at 108 meters. The tallest building ever to be demolished was at 114 meters. Our experts are quite proud to claim that this was probably one of the most difficult demolitions that they've had to work in or on, even worldwide. And together with the teams that were working on the demolition, it was completely successful. Just also to indicate that we've used 894 kilograms of explosives that brought the building down. The experts will be able to tell you the type of implosion method that was used. And for those, all of us who viewed it, they call it a waterfall effect. So it goes from one side down, and everything then is contained. Also, just on inspection, which is not necessarily a detailed inspection, there have been no structural damages to the buildings around. We did do pre-demolition inspection, and there's a report per building. This demolition will then include having to inspect those buildings again to the last detail, including any cracks, any broken windows, any defects on the buildings, and we'll be able to compare pre and post, and then whoever must take responsibility will then take responsibility. So this then brings us to the end of what is an era, really. The building will now, or the site will now take a few months to clear all the rubble. Will then be able, it's also part of what we had explained to be the Kopanong precinct. This building will be rebuilt to accommodate one of provincial government departments. Also, just as an update, the families of the deceased were with us today, and colleagues of the deceased firefighters were with us today from this morning. We've been in contact with them since Wednesday, our post-briefing, and they were with us to witness. Two of the families were here, and one was at a different viewing site, but they've been with us throughout. But just to, from my side, say thank you to Jet Demolition. A very, very complicated job, high risk. Everybody was extremely nervous. I think it can go one of two ways. It could either work or not. There's no real middle ground, and it worked. Today it worked. And thank you to ProPlan. I see you haven't slept. Your eyes are bloodshot, but I think after today you can rest peacefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC. And I see Johan is here.
Yes, Johan.
Hi, Johan.
Martinez.
Johan is here. Martinez is here. And that is the safety manager for Jet Demolition, who has just been to the ground and making sure that the site inspections are being done and that the post-demolition process is well underway. I'm going to ask the colleagues from JET as well as ProPlan to please chip in before we open our round of media questions.
Let's do questions first.
Questions first.
Yeah.
We will do 4 questions. Introduce yourself and the media house that you represent. Perfect. All right. Okay, we've got one at the back. And this side. Hold on, please.
And we'll come back to those questions. We've got our reporter, Heidi Jokos, there. But very interesting there what was said about the waterfall effect. And certainly as you watch that building implode, it does look like a waterfall. It does seem like it all went without a hitch, which is very good news. They were very, very nervous. Interestingly now, the site of the Bank of Lisbon building will be cleared and it will be rebuilt into a provincial government department.